So today it is not about Omegawave, it's about my friend Stanley. Stanley is a toolbox and it's filled up with EEG, EMG, MyonTech EMG, so textile EMG, different tapes I have learned to apply. And this toolbox is like, describes my journey from a stupid brain user as a young coach into a smarter brain worker. And it's not more than that. The trainer is a brain worker. So, and the tools I have added into Stanley are thinking tools, experimentation tools, and reflection tools like evaluations and stuff like that. And that helped me to be a better coach today. It's not the technology. Technology is stupid without a smart brain. It's more confusing if you're not if you haven't developed a smart brain. So today I'm working as a diagnostic coach with elite athletes, fitness athletes, depends on the budget. And for this I'm applying several technologies and tools in order to understand my athletes better, make smarter decisions, and in the best case, helping them to get better, in the best case. So I'm fascinated by elite sports, and I think it's easy to understand because the difference between one and second or third and fourth place is just very small. It's below 1%, sometimes even less than that. And it's not only true for track and field, that's true for cross-country skiing. After 50 kilometers running, there's always a sprint, or very often a sprint. So it's challenging, not only for the athlete, for the coach too, and the staff, of course. So, and this is fascinating for me, and the first task for a coach is, of course, to stay free of injury. This is a serious problem in sports. Just some numbers, 90% of all muscle injuries are overuse injuries. That's a number. And in youth track and field, every fourth dropout is caused by an overuse injury, just hamstring pull or midfoot fatigue fractures. And then this is a sign or an indicator that the training design is not very, very good. Because overuse, the word is just saying, we're treating the physiological system not in the right way we should do. So and the first thing I have learned as a coach, I have to understand physiology. Without physiology, you can't be a successful coach. Yeah. Problem in training design. So, but what is a well-designed training program? Do you have ideas? How do you, or if you have to evaluate a training program, what criteria makes it good or bad? There are different criteria, of course. Any ideas? Of course you have ideas, I know.
It depends. It depends on the athlete.
Okay.
His experience also. I look most of the time I look very to the past and the history for the athlete.
Mm-hmm.
His history, his past, but I'm also an osteopath.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me very important criteria. If the injuries when he was young, when he was a child or whatever.
Okay, injury history, sports history.
That's for me very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you train with coach he worked maybe in the past. Like that.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
It's not everything is not about how hard you have to go and go harder to get better performance. So that's for me one of the criteria.
Perfect, yeah.
There are
Gary?
I think one criteria for me to evaluate if I'm close to getting a good program is there anything I can take away and the athlete would still have the same amount of progress?
Okay.
Find the things that are just like waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking away as much as possible, like this
Mm-hmm.
project with useless idea of Bruce Lee,
Mm-hmm.
to still have that same amount of progress. And I always try to look for these things that you can take away.
Okay, and how do you identify that?
Well, like you can have certain periods where you isolate those, you either have them in and reevaluate progress, or leave them out and reevaluate progress. So, for example, if you leave them out in that phase after you had them in and you have still the same amount of progress, you're kind of close to the thought that maybe I don't need this.
Interesting. Yeah. Any other comment on that or idea?
I'd say athlete specific and sport specific, right? So I mean, that's kind of where we want to be in regards of well design. It has to be matching both criteria, and then you can work down from that exactly what's necessary for it, either for him specifically, like Jeff said, if you got history, playing age, yada yada yada, or sport specific in regards of what's his position of play when you come down to team sports. Or, you know.
So you're asking after the goal or target, so right? So is it more sport specific or?
What other, I mean, yeah, you go and see what the performance demands of this specific role in a match game, run, whatever. And how can I then get this person close to being resilient to the demands, as well as being able to actually perform at this.
Okay.
My 2 cents.
Yeah, just a few. I'm just collecting some ideas.
Well, just to add one new criteria from a technology provider for the field. One of the things I will say is when we're thinking about what design of a solution, I would say that one of the most important things in the user have a solution that doesn't force them, that don't force them to change how they work, because people don't have time in functional sport. And thinking about like the design should always take into account that you need to do something that don't force them to do something new. So they need to be, it needs to be adaptable to the normal day processes.
So you mean adaptiveness to the general routines?
Yeah, that is not really disrupting.
Okay, not disrupting in a way. Okay.
Much more work. It's just making their life easier, not more complicated.
Okay, yeah, from a design perspective, you're right, but it takes some time sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, I identified 3 key factors for successful training programs. I have quality of information, so quality of decision making, and at least quality of execution. So what does it mean? So quality of information at the beginning of an exercise. How ready is my athlete? Omegawave task. That determines the quality of decision making from moderate, intense, or low. And which comes to the third level, the quality of execution. If I'm not ready for the exercise, I can do the right exercise, maybe, but I won't have that intended effect of the exercise. Just to think on these 3 levels. So it's, from a design perspective, I think not so bad. So I will focus on the quality of information. I'm working not only with the Omegawave system, I'm using different tools like infrared technologies to get a picture of musculoskeletal readiness. And there are much more tools you can use, but it depends on your time and on your competence, of course. And on your budget, at least. So, I have asked me a lot of questions when I did my evaluations with me. I want to be a better coach. So, what is the right exercise? One question. Is the athlete ready for my training? What is the right practice time? What is the right intensity prescription for the exercise? What is the right balance between general and specific training, like you said a little bit? What is the right training environment? What is the right feedback? What is the right recovery strategy? Which impact does a flight have on my athletes? And what is the right strategy or tactic for the competition, for the next race maybe? There are a lot of questions that goes into the training design process. And so it's, yeah, a coach is at first a designer and a diagnostiker. I think this is the two most important roles for a coach. And we have, I think, at first an information gap in readiness. So without measurement, I can't know how ready the athlete is. I can't look into the athlete.
I see a lot of questions about performance and the abilities of the athlete, but what about the emotion?
Yeah, the emotion is important. Yeah.
Stanley kit, do you have something in your Stanley kit for that? Because it depends also.
Yeah, it's they are just we can collect many other questions.
But everything is on the part of the
performance, physical level.
That you can measure perfectly, but everything is the emotional part is very important.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Mind.
It had a lot to do with mindset. Yeah. So, but I identified in my thinking just as and gap, is the athlete ready for the training, physical ready. So, and I have developed two levels: general readiness. I can identify with observation, of course, with RPE, box scale. You can question how fit you are. It works on a subjective way. It's fine. And Omegawave, DC potential, HRV, you can receive a good picture. But always it depends on your experience. And also musculoskeletal readiness or motor readiness. You can gain information with your hands. Great tool. Screening systems like the FMS, infrared technologies, EMG, force. There's a lot of stuff on the market. Great tools. Yeah, but you need competence. So, and what happens if you ignore that fact? You can see it with my story as a former athlete. My goal was to be a professional sportsman, and as a young football player, I wanted to do everything what is necessary to be a good football player, and I did that, but without smart thinking. Just put everything in to get everything out, but yeah, it's very linear thinking and it's often wrong. I experienced the Osgood-Schlatter sign, so pain in the knee, and okay, it was over. Then I decided, okay, cycling is good for me, and it was not so bad, junior national level, but I didn't change my thinking. So everything in, everything out, didn't work. So I had a lot of respiratory illnesses. So I was often ill when it comes to the season highlight. You trained a lot and then no result or not the expected result. It's not so easy especially for young athletes. So, and after some setbacks, I decided I will create plans for sportsmen, for young sportsmen, to give them the opportunity to overcome these obstacles or to prevent them in the best case. So this is my mission. Yeah, I formulated, and for this I had to change my thinking, my behavior in general, and my working approach. So, and of course, if you want to be successful, you have to write it down. So I wrote it down, and yeah, I want to be a successful elite sport coach. But what does it mean, successful? My definition for success is not only the gold medal or the result, the desired result. It is the desired result without injuries or illness. So without physiological costs. That's my definition. So, and if I'm So if I achieve both sides, then I'm successful. Without, I'm not. So after school, I started as a young soccer coach and gained first experiences. And in 2007, I had the first experience, or the first contact with the Omegawave system. We are teletext. I read that Bayern Munich is experimenting with the Omegawave system. To that point, I didn't realize or thought about readiness. I'm more interested in exercises like Verstegen exercises or Michael Boyle. Everything has to be functional, and it worked good at the beginning. And they taught me some good tools, but it was not enough. At that point, I was definitely not ready for the elite level. If I had to rate myself, yeah, it would look like this. So, yeah, there's a lot of room to improve in every corner. So it was like the Pareto principle, 20% for 80% of the result. Looks effective for the fitness market, but not for professional athletes. So I have to improve. So I studied. I copied training routines of experts. Great tool for the beginning. And I was consuming books, not studying books. Great difference between that of these guys and many others. So during my studies, I had the opportunity to study in the US. I did athletic training and learned how to work with my hands. And of course, I had the honor to work with the medical of Usain Bolt, for instance, Dr. Müller-Wohlfahrt. And he inspired me to work with my hands, to evaluate muscles, muscle status, muscle function, and yeah, to get in touch with the athlete. A great tool, and this is an emotional tool too. And as an assistant of Heini Bergmüller, the guy here on the right, and on the left is the Olympian Herminator, Hermann Mayer. You're familiar with that guy? 2 times Olympian medal winner in downhill skiing, Nagano in 1998. Yeah, great. In Austria, a huge fan base and very popular there. He also coached, Heini Bergmüller also coached Maria Riesch or Mancuso, other successful downhill skiers. And I realized there, it's more than understanding. Understanding is just knowing about a little bit, and realizing is feeling, get it, that it is extremely helpful in elite sport athletes. You need that. Physiology is a great knowledge base for successful coaching. So just an impression. My training looked like that, or assessment in that year, in this year's 2010, 11. I worked with FMS, LESS, some manual tools, jumping heights, assessment, Bosco test battery, great tools, just to show my progression. In order to study training load, I used RPE or TRIMP, just to get an idea. It's subjective, I know, but it's a good thing to start, to make your first experiences, to learn how the athlete adapts, and to learn the problems. So what is the problem of a subjective tool? If you ask an athlete, he's always good. A motivated athlete.
Individual athlete.
Yeah.
Because that's a big difference. If your athlete ready, an
Yeah.
individual athlete, I was also a cyclist in the past.
Yeah.
We are always ready.
Yeah, yeah. You are motivated, you have a goal, and you have, I have to do. Yeah.
Because you have to do it by your own, but in team sport, it's
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, you're right. In team sports,
training, the best example is Messi. He trains, plays on him. He's always ready.
Yeah.
For the game.
Sure, it depends. I have to outline my things to get through the presentation. I recognize the problems of the subjective tools, and I like it, but I like other things more. So after sports science graduation, okay, a little progress take place, but for elite sports, it's not enough. I thought that, but from now on, from the perspective of today, I was not ready for elite sports. So I had to improve dramatically at all fronts. So first, I had to think on a higher level. So I have to ask better questions. This is the first thing. If you want to be better, you need to ask better questions and to think about training again. So what is training? What is sports training? From a productive perspective, it's the product of training, of the training process for sports competition. So the product of the sports competition, the performance, is the product of training. But what is the goal of sports training? The goal of training is adaptation, right? And adaptation takes place mostly after practice. And I learned that through the definition, through the goal. But I wasn't ready to that time to understand that. Just training, next training, next training. And that's wrong. Training is not for training. Training is for adaptation. And this is the key for successful coaching. Teach your athlete that training is for adaptation. And when you're talking to them, okay, you have to recover. Okay, I say that is update. This is cell update. Your cells reorganize and get better. I don't say in a training program this is recovery. I say it's cell update. It's progression. It's just a little thing, but I hope athletes will understand that it's different. That it's not lying, not relaxing in general. It is becoming better athlete with the help of recovery. Yeah. So, and in order to understand this phenomenon, I prepared some experiments. So, some case reports. Here, one nice example, which I realized that training is specific. So from task analysis, we know that swimming or sprint events in swimming are mostly determined by the component of the anaerobic part. So, and here we can see that's true. The tapering of this athlete, it's national level. The result was a silver medal, and the good thing was that he achieved his personal best.
What are we seeing? So the blue line is
The blue line is the aerobic index falling down.
Is that from Omegawave?
Yeah. And the green line is the anaerobic index going up. So, and this was the tapering of the last days, and the German national ships started here, and the highlight was here. And it's very impressive, and I understand, okay, there's something happening. So some facts to the athlete, he was 28 years old, and I think very experienced in training design. So I would characterize him as intelligent athlete, so not doing too much, if you know what I mean. But a smart guy.
Sorry, just not finished.
Okay.
Then I can ask the question.
Okay, so really a smart guy, jumping 50 centimeters, really talented in training design, but not doing too much. So we can say well done. But yeah, this case convinced me that the system works well, and I can trust it a little bit more than yesterday, and can use it for my studies and experiments. Max?
Yes, do we have the chart from the week afterwards?
No. This is
a
yeah, of course. I only have this chart. It was an observational case study, or case analysis, to be correct, because it was the app. We used the app, and I wasn't there. And after that, I know everything. Okay. Athletes sometimes are a little bit stupid, but yeah, good for me. But a little bit more data would be nice. I'm with you.
Yeah, we got it. see the reaction.
Yeah. But on the CNS level, it was really good. It was always in the green bar. Just to give that information. Another example. Here we can see the supercompensation curves after 2 sessions. And yeah, what can we see? This is the aerobic index and the anaerobic index. So first measurement before exercise, then exercise, 10 hours afterwards. Initial measurement in the morning, 24 hours after the first practice, and then some follow-ups to understand a little bit of the compensation. Impressive? So, any ideas for training design? Just what comes to your mind? There's no right or wrong.
Have you tried doing another bout of this exercise after different time periods, saying, hey, let's do the same thing after 2 hours? Because the first idea would be, hey, after 2 hours it might be well compensated.
Yeah.
See what happens when we do the same
So
thing
you,
after 2 hours.
so your idea is to set here a new stimulus, or?
No, I'm just asking, have you tried it? Because like, it sounds counterintuitive, but maybe it works.
Yeah, this is an interesting hypothesis we have to figure out. Yeah, I thought about it.
Sometimes it's counterintuitive.
Yeah. We have to figure it out. We didn't make that, but what can we see at first? Was it more an aerobic or anaerobic training reaction? More aerobic, yeah. And in general, if we're looking towards the long-term adaptation, aerobic or anaerobic? Just based on the numbers.
Again, aerobic.
Yeah. Okay. So proof 2, training is specific. And next lesson for me. So now it would be interesting to test more active recovery methods, maybe, would be interesting. Or how does it look like after 2 race days, Saturday and Sunday? Maybe interesting for professional cyclists to look, yeah, what active recovery strategy makes sense, makes no sense. There are interesting thoughts came up to me based on that case study. So whistle shooting, international level athlete, and he thought he's very calm. So let's have a look on the DC potential data. The first one, the second one, and the third one. The third one was better because we told him to focus on his breathing patterns and so on. And yeah, but after I've seen his first two DC potential graphs, I asked him about his self-talk within the shooting competitions, and he admitted that, I start thinking about the results when I'm over my personal best. Okay.
And also maybe you guys as well, in your experience. But if I tell my athlete to, like, purposefully try to calm down his breath, and I didn't do it like, it's not something which is protocol-wise, right? I do it every single day, but at the same time. Then obviously, because we know that we can actually,
you think,
and in connection with our heart rate and so on and so forth. So the question is, obviously, the last chart looks like that because
it looks better, but you
told him
yes,
what he had to do.
Yes, it was a manipulation, but your point is a little bit. I think it is. How should I say?
It's wrong, I'm just asking,
I think
in comparison to the other ones?
it is not, DC potential is not measuring in general the calm, how is, that he is very calm or not. It's just speculating on that. And the DC potential, I think you have to do a real EEG measurement more than once to get the idea. But just I showed it because I thought, okay, this is very uncommon, that DC potential curve.
Isn't the benefit of doing that kind of manipulation also and seeing how the athlete did calm down? If it's a technique that the athlete can transfer in competition status, when they can, could they do that kind of calming down purposefully on their own? Let me start this breathing pattern now because it's been shown in my own performance that it calmed me down. I get that. I get your point in terms of, okay, if I'm trying to assess the true readiness of the athlete, in this way, probably not the best way, but I see this as a kind of pre-pause intervention, just like I heard 2 days ago from a football team, they say they use cryotherapy. They do pre-pause. They want to see, does the cryotherapy really activate parasympathetic or not? Does it not? So in a way, can I, in this case with breathing techniques, get any improvement in my athlete's status? And if I can, I could then probably help the athlete perform on the spot.
So it could be more considered an experiment to see, is it a proof for what we want to achieve? Can we prove it to the athlete? See, you can do it.
Do I see a physiological impact based after this kind of intervention? If it's a positive intervention, well, hey, let's start applying it. Performance and competition and see how it goes.
But then we're talking about two different
exactly, we're talking about two different things. Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to do it to assess before you want to assess the true readiness. Then you're manipulating the results. But just kind of studying intervention impact, then that can be used, you know?
Gotcha. Okay.
So for me, it's just a tool to get better results, better curves. So because here's no stabilization in the curve, in the graph. Yeah. So I can't work with that data. Yeah.
But for me, you can have stabilization.
Yeah.
If you show me the last one, but the time is for me also very important. If you speak with the rifle shooting athlete, it's also about interconnection in the brain and the autonomic nervous system. And for me, that time you can say is better, but that time is for me too long. This focus is not for me. It's not. Normally, if you have good focus, if you have good interconnection in your body, yes, but also after 2 or 3 minutes max. Check out, check on, and that is very important to train. And that breathing exercise is a very good tool. Tactical breathing is a very good tool for that. But he has to work on the...
just to give some background information to this athlete. He's fighting at all fronts. So he's a rifle shooter, he's being a coach, he's being a researcher, he's everything. He's a motorcycler, everything. So he has to focus in general.
That's basic. Also the length, for me the length of the curve is for me also very important.
But he knows that he's very calm. and on Omegawave doesn't work because he's very calm. It's hard.
There's a sensation, but the sensation is not always reality. Because if you are, for his body, that is normal state. He's very calm, but then you come with the data, and then you can discuss it. And then you go on these emotions, and you do some tricks, and then see, it's not so calm. That's it. But if you have no other feeling, and you cannot measure it in the past, then it's normal for him that you feel calm.
It is his awareness. So and then he has no reference. So and that's the problem. And I have to create this reference. So this is my job. If he is open-minded and willing to be in the process, and he is not right now. He is researching, coaching, and everything. It's a progress. several years ago I wasn't ready, so no problem. So a rifle shooter, national level. So she is a psychology student. Thinks a lot, and yeah, her brain works, but she needs time, like you said. But the idea was here to measure the effect of a technical practice on the DC potential, and yeah, a little activation. So it seems that we can adapt after student.
The graph on the left is
Pre-post.
Right.
Yeah. Pre-practice after technical shooting practice.
Okay.
So there was a little improvement. So easy, ready for the next speed training. Is this athlete ready?
Based on CNS.
Yeah, based on CNS, yeah.
Of course, I will say.
Could be better, maybe 20 and more.
No, it depends on the athlete. It's hard, it's good for him. But here, it's the same athlete, not. So some experience within session measurements. So I wanted to prove, is the DC potential sensitive to strength training or activation exercises within, so directly after the practice. Whoops. And yes, without some limitations, it is. you can measure the supercompensation within the exercise or within sets, between sets, and that is really interesting. It's not just Russian research, which is often criticized. It works in Europe or US maybe too. So good. And the next one, the effect of manual therapy on DC. So before physiotherapy, let's say -15, and then we did some soft tissue work and tried to understand how it works or not. Yeah, and it worked. It lifted him up. It's not doing some massage and then the athlete is ready. It seems to be that it supports.
From the portal osteopathy, we do manipulations to activate the sympathetic. And the visual part and cranial part to do more calm down the parasympathetic. I think also my experience is also cranial therapy, also more for DC potential.
I can learn a lot of you. I think from this part.
Yeah. Activate the system, check and neurovegetative response.
Yeah, in that case, we only did some massage and so just working.
That would be my question as well.
Yeah, it depends on technique. Yeah.
For me, in Belgium, manual therapy is also a little bit manipulation.
Yeah. I have to work with my tools, and I have to. It's just for me to evaluate. Okay, how my tools can help the athlete. So, and this is the way I can work, and so I can help physiotherapists to improve their techniques and say, okay, this is specific for this athlete, maybe not for that, and this is cool.
They listen here in Germany?
No. Not yet, but it's better. So I developed and we used this, and it was just a test in practice, just to think about it, how it works. And here, a race day. Paul, he's 20 years old, hurdle sprinter, 110 meters, 400 meters, and he is a Bavarian champ, so in the elites. And his goal is to win a medal at championships at his age group. So a situation in May last year, his first competition. So it's in Germany, it's always bad weather, cold, rainy. So our decision was, we do no specific recovery for this competition, but we will do some experience. So we can try some things between the competition, because 110 meters are in the morning and 400 in the afternoon, so we have time. We are there, so let's try some cool things. So his statement after the first competition, so it was a moderate competition in the morning, cold, sprinting events, okay, moderate, fine. And he said, but the legs were not so fast like during the indoor season. So, okay, I thought, okay, let us measure something. So it was in the lunchtime, 12 o'clock. Here we see, bad results after the sprinting event in the morning, and after 45 minutes we could improve a little bit, but we have no control. This is always the problem in case studies. So what happened without doing anything? So I don't have that data, we can't compare it, but the athlete said, okay, I'm feeling better. So and the result was that it was a good competition in the 400 meters. So it was below the mean of the last year's performance. So quite okay to get in the season. And and if the athlete is good, the data is okay, I'm good with that. So some interesting thing. So we are surrounded by new tools, new techniques every day, and the flywheel technology is right now, how do you say in English? The second spring.
Can you, by the way, I don't know if everybody knows what the flywheel is.
The flywheel is, I have a video, I will show at the end. Okay. It's like eccentric overload training. So it's easier it's harder to accelerate and easier to break a weight. Decelerate. Genau. Right. So what we did, we did a protocol and tried to figure out what works for him, did some exercises, and I measured, what a new stimulus. So it's a tremendous mechanical stimulus for the athlete. You create much soreness in the muscles after the first time of eccentric overload training. And the second day, the same, so no recovery take place. So it was a good stimulus, we could also say. And after the fourth session with eccentric overload, okay, he adapted a little bit to the training stimulus, just on a DC potential level. But it's not everything. So we can see a lot of more, or we can do a lot of more with the Omegawave. So the parasympathetic activity was active, let's say that, and he's still adapting. So cool.
Which kind of adaptation?
Hurdles. 110 and 400. So more specialized in the sprint event, but more talented for the 400s. So let's say that. And so just to say, or to give the coaches some background to this athlete, he can lift more than 2 times of his body weight in squat. So 180 kilos 3 times, no problem. So that is the point here. Be careful with new technologies. Measure it. They are great tools, of course, but new stimulus can be a problem. Lesson 2. Let's have a look how we work, just to recover a little bit. Just to get a little insight in our practice, measuring contact times, jumping heights, and so on. So improving hip strength, hip speed, cool exercise.
Is that slowed down or is that?
Yeah, it's slow down to get more. Yeah. Okay, so athletic rehab. Yeah, just to sum up, a little bit training as an investment or loss. So right stimulus, right timing, then it's an investment, and if not, mostly it is a loss. So when I learned with the Omegawave system to be a better investor, I think. Not the best, Warren Buffett is not achievable for me, but it is a great tool. So athletic rehab. So here we have Tom. He's 17 years old. His goal is to compete at the Junior World Championships in track and field, long jump. And he has a problem, midfoot pain after jumping. So in July, I received a mobile phone call, horrible pain after landing, personal best, and fatigue fracture. Right foot. So what we did, that was a result, no championships, and national funding was gone. So our goals were for the rehab, we want to have a homogeneous profile in the infrared graphic. I will show you something afterwards. The reducing pain during practice, a foot transformation. We want to have more capacity and movement symmetry.
Was he flat-footed?
I have a picture. Stop, so no events until everything is achieved. No sprinting, no jumping, and do everything what helps you. So objectives, musculoskeletal readiness after warm-up in November. Here we see some problems, not really a warm foot, and that is not, here we have a hot spot. And we identified, and some other researchers too, that a difference between more than 1 degree is often painful and not really good for successful practice or rehab. And in November, 1 year later, it looks a lot better. After the warm-up, more homogeneous. And we had, of course, a foot transformation. I hope you see that. It's really flat, there's nothing. And here is something. Much better, a lot of work. And it was more than, it was a lot of thinking work to create eccentric stress in the foot and so on. But I have a video, you can see something. It depends on the hip strength. There are many things you have to consider, and it was fun. It was fun to create that architecture back. So, and here, after jumping, most important, foot is warm and homogeneous. So it's not, it's just an insight. There's no real evidence for that, but it can help you to design better programs and to say stop sprinting, stop sprinting, jumping. It's like you said, prevent athletes for mistakes or to overdo things. And here the MRI, more capacity, he was really bad. Lazy guy, and with bad eating habits. Okay, that's the use, but we can improve them. Problem, he had really a low level in the aerobic index, and he didn't like that, and that was a problem through the whole treatment, rehab, and so we decided to quit because it works good. He made it to a Bavarian champ again, but the improvement was not like expected, And the problem was, I think, here, the law of minimum. You all know that from biology lessons. Yeah, and physiology is true. And you have to accept that or not. And he didn't, but I did, so we quit. But it's a good case for education, to educate youth athletes and so on, students. Great thing. And I have also a video of that case. Oh. Why? So just to get an impression of his talent before injury, some technical insights. Okay, you see, there's no stabilization, or too much bony stabilization. Maybe one of the problems. So now what we did, we created a vision and so on, and started easy. So measuring foot height, or foot arch of the foot. Learning, walking. So that was at the beginning, really flat foot. Strength exercises with Smart Coach, so measuring power during exercise. Of course, doing running exercises, sprinting technique, drills. And you see there's improvement. And here's stabilizing dynamic jump exercises, really important for jumpers. Yeah, just to get a few impressions. How we worked. Good. One more case, and then I'm done. So Nikki, she's 25 years old. Her level international, competitions, European Championships, World Cups, and she has a problem. She's a downhill skier. She experienced 3 ACL injuries, 2 on the left leg, and had motor control problems, motor performance problems on the left leg. So she came in and I measured general readiness, and the experienced user see that something may be proved by a medical professional, maybe. But she was ready for some assessments That was the key I made that. Manual assessment, limitations we identified in the medial lateral kinetic chain here, especially in the knee area. There was pain, there was no stability, and she had problems in the eccentric coordination, so here in the calves. The control of the motor control of this simple exercise wasn't really good. So, thermographic insight, okay, left leg is colder, maybe less muscle activity in general when she comes. I did that directly after she came in to get a little bit an insight of her daily routines, what works, just so, but to gain some data. And what we did on the motor performance level or motor control level, we did some counter movement jumps. So 10 seconds, and I identified with the Myontech, a huge asymmetry in the motor pattern. There we can look a little bit deeper, but just for the moment, 20% is much. And training with EMG feedback. So we use the technology and help her to activate the muscles, and it works. It can help to change or to re-educate the motor patterns, because she said it felt like I only bending the left knee and just working on the left. And that's right. This is the feeling or the experience you have to look for in the next weeks in the training. Then you're right to give them the tool with home, and to give her the confidence that she can use the muscles. They work. So we did some other tests to show her, to give her the confidence you can activate the muscle. Everything is fine, but you have to do your training to get back on the snow. Okay, and the after session fatigue, we worked with the flywheel. Okay, the system is running. Stimulus was good. Go for it. And just an example of her general motor control in easy jumping tasks. Okay. So definitely not ready for the forces of downhill skiing. And here the flywheel with feedback. So this is the flywheel, and here the feedback for her. And this is tough, this is really intense. This is really an intense exercise. And here you can see nearly 50%. Okay, that was my presentation, some insights, and now you can discuss and give me feedback, help me to be better, coach. Thank you.